So the name of my graphic novel is I Am Alfonso Jones. It was written by Tony Medina and illustrated by Stacy Robinson and John Jennings. It was published by Two Books, an imprint of Lee and Low Books, Inc. I Am Alfonso Jones is a true graphic novel with 176 pages. Act 1 ends about page 43, give or take a page or two. Act 2 ends around page 133, again, give or take a page or two. I don't think it fits our model exactly, but I feel like it's close. Alfonso Jones is our main character or protagonist, and his goal is to buy a new suit to wear to meet his dad for the first time. The conflict in Act 2 doesn't support this because Alfonso is killed in Act 1. He spends the rest of the story on the ghost train, and I do think that the story has a solid arc with a clear beginning, middle, and end. For me, the resolution is not satisfactory, but it is a reality. The end, like in reality, left a sour taste in my mouth. Unarmed youth killed by overzealous police never sits well, especially when the badge is used to justify murder. Even though Alfonso dies, he spends a great deal of time on the ghost train, and this is where his arc really develops. He goes from a happy living teen who's about to have, possibly the greatest experience of his life to a dead teen or the ghost of a dead teen, trying to understand the injustice in his death and understanding his place among the ancestors now. We definitely know where we are. The when is kind of sketchy just because it doesn't necessarily say, it's 2012 or 2015, but it does give you the feel that it's modern era because in the graphics they talk about Black Lives Matter. I mean, not in the graphics, but in the storyline they talk about Black Lives Matter. You see the Black Lives Matter sign in the graphics. So I want to say it's modern time, but they don't really say exactly when. The transitions are established and effective and are clear to the reader. McLeod speaks about 6 different transition types, and the illustrator uses a combination of them to move the story along. Now, in my example, what you see here is the subject to subject. It's a shot of Alfonso before he dies in his classroom, and they're having a discussion about Hamlet, and you just see the different reactions of the different teens and the conversation, and so it just goes from one subject to the next in each frame. What I think is interesting is they use several of these transitions throughout the story, sometimes using multiple transitions per page. So in one you'll see action to in like maybe you'll have 2 frames where there's action to action, and then 2 frames where there's subject to subject. And so it varies based on the page you're on. So I think they do a good job of using the transitions to help move the story along. I don't think it uses the page as a mini comic idea. I don't know if that works well or doesn't. I'm not really sure, the negative impact of not having the mini comic as a page, but or a page as a mini comic. But I do think that the directional flow and the art and layout help to pull you through the story along with the text. I would recommend this story to my classmates with the caveat that the content is about social injustice. So if you're sensitive to that type of topic, then you probably wouldn't want to read it. If you have strong political views about if you have strong political views regarding racism and racial issues and injustice, then it's probably not something you want to take a look at. For my family, I would definitely recommend it to my family and friends. It speaks to a very visceral experience in our lives as people of color, and I think that the conversations that Alfonso's grandfather has with him are conversations that we have with our children in real life as people of color. So I would definitely recommend to my family and friends. The fun fact is that at the end of the story, well, not at the end, during the story, as part of the ghost train, there are several people on the ghost train who have died and didn't receive justice. So they are helping guide Alfonso through his journey. And at the end, Tony Medina shares the real life stories of the characters on the ghost train. So that is my presentation. I Am Alfonso Jones, again by Tony Medina. It's a great read. If you get a chance, I would definitely check it out.